So I'm going to teach you now how to make a cube using strips of paper. These strips are 1 inch wide by 9 inches. 9 inches? No, 8.5. Sorry, 8.5 inches long. Right? Let me double check. Yep, 8.5 inches. Sorry about that. Okay, so to make a cube, you're going to need a total of 12 pieces. I have 4 strips of paper right here, which means I need to cut each of these. You need to cut this into thirds. So what I'm going to do is fold over my paper long enough so that it looks like the folded half is equivalent to the unfolded half. Now, this is not a scientific approach. You could actually measure these into 3 parts. That's fine. I'm just guesstimating, so there we go. And I was a little bit off, but that's okay. What you can do is gather up all your strips and then stack them up and trim off the extra. That works too. So I'm going to stack these up. Go with the shortest. Where's my shortest ones? About there. Ta-da! Okay. Now, for each of these, what you're going to do is fold these in half, hot dog style. And doing this helps those pieces of paper actually become stronger. If you look at steel buildings, a lot of them have bent steel frames. I don't know that they're actually bent, but they're the right angles there. And this kind of structure helps to bear weight. So what I'm going to do is now place these in the form of a square. Okay, like so. And we're going to glue these in place. So I'm going to start by putting a dot of glue on each end of the first one, gluing those in place, and then a dot of glue at the open edge here, and glue those in place. All right, and now we're going to actually make a second one of these. So I just finished making the second frame. So to put this together to make a cube, you would take your remaining 4 folded strips of paper, and I'm going to put glue on either end or either side of the end of one of them and piece that in with my thumb here. So it will look kind of like a table that's been turned upside down. Hold that in place. So as you're making a sculpture, if you're using several of these, you're going to really want to make a lot of strips of paper and fold a lot of paper. So typically what we would do is spend, if we were in class, we would spend a day just taking pre-cut strips that I would cut for you guys and folding them in half. And so we'd end up with tables that would have giant piles of these folded strips of paper. And then the next day we would spend the day creating these cubes. And then the last day we would spend gluing the cubes together to make giant buildings and forms and stuff. It looks like this one went on the outside here. And one of these might be a little bit taller than the other. So it's a little bit wonky, but you can see I have a cube. Now, what if you wanted to do, instead of a cube, what if you wanted a pyramid? Well, you'd still fold it in half like you did earlier, but then you would form a triangle And as you're putting the top spokes in, you would lean those in toward each other. So you can make a little pyramid. And then you could interlock them if you want. You could partially build a sphere. And maybe you would take this sphere, and with the piece that you didn't glue yet, you would interlock it around to interconnect. So that's how you make paper strip forms for a sculpture.